The night was calm, and the grand Dongfang estate glowed under the moonlight. But inside, that peace shattered as a plate crashed violently to the floor, scattering fruit across the marble tiles. The sound echoed through the hall, carrying the weight of fury and frustration. A woman with fiery red hair stood trembling with rage, clutching her phone tightly. Her sharp voice sliced through the silence as she berated the person on the other end. She accused them of wasting a perfect opportunity to eliminate Shadow, the very man who had destroyed everything she held dear. Years of influence and planning meant nothing if her subordinates failed at the moment that mattered most. Her tone grew colder, filled with bitterness and grief. She refused to listen to excuses. The blood of the Dongfang family had been spilled, and she swore it would not be in vain. Her voice rose to a furious command as she demanded revenge. No matter the cost or the method, Shadow had to pay for his sins. As her anger echoed through the empty mansion, the shattered plate on the floor seemed to reflect her own shattered resolve, fragile, yet burning with vengeance that refused to die. Inside a dark hallway, the red-haired woman scolds her subordinate over the phone, reminding them that Shadow had killed their father-in-law. She demands to know why they're still hesitating to act. From the shadows, a young boy covered in blood appears, dragging a lifeless body. He calmly tells his mother that he has a plan to kill Shadow. Shocked, the woman asks what plan he could possibly have, reminding him that the deadly game can only be entered by adults. With a chilling smile and glowing red eyes, the boy explains that even if he can't join the game, he can still think. Since Shadow enjoys killing, they'll lure him into a trap, provoking him and preparing the ambush at his father's fireworks factory. The boy calmly continues his explanation, saying that once Shadow begins killing, they'll detonate the entire fireworks factory, turning it into his grave. Even if the plan fails, no one will be able to trace it back to them. The red-haired woman listens with a cold smile, clearly impressed by her son's ruthless thinking. She remarks that their training has paid off and mocks the man on the other end of the call for being less capable than her own child. The voice on the phone warns her to keep this operation secret since the officials still want to win Shadow over. He adds that her elder brothers wouldn't support such a reckless move. Unfazed, she agrees to handle it herself. Ending the call with determination, she vows to arrange everything, her eyes reflecting a dangerous resolve. Standing beside a lifeless body, the red-haired woman asks if the commoner still refused to give up his lifespan. Her son lowers his head, apologizing softly. With a guilty smile, the boy admits he couldn't control himself and ended up killing the woman by accident. His innocent tone contrasts with the blood staining his face. The scene shifts to the world of the god-forsaken game, specifically the ruins of Magic City, a place filled with chaos and destruction. There, a fierce battle unfolds. A black-haired warrior unleashes a powerful energy attack, her expression filled with rage and determination as the fight rages on. In the chaotic streets of Magic City, players suddenly collapse, their bodies glowing as their souls fade away. Onlookers panic, realizing someone has killed them in an instant, and only one name comes to mind. The crowd shouts in fear, convinced that Shadow is behind the mysterious deaths. Panic spreads rapidly as people flee in every direction, the air filled with screams and flashes of golden light. Amid the chaos, a calm figure stands by the sea, watching the clear sky. Rumors spread that Shadow is slaughtering innocents everywhere, but his silent stance tells another story, one that's yet to unfold. Standing by the calm ocean, Shadow surveys the city skyline and decides it's the perfect location to create a new hiding place. The system prompts him to use over 1,000 years of lifespan to extract the land of soul purification into reality. He confirms the extraction, marking the location on the map as the system reveals that the hiding place lies deep underground. A warning appears: all matter overlapping with the new structure will be erased upon creation. Without hesitation, Shadow gives the command to proceed. The sea ripples beneath his feet as the vast underwater structure begins to take shape. Standing tall under the bright sky, Shadow activates his power, merging reality and illusion as his new sanctuary forms. As the extraction completes, the massive underwater temple emerges, glowing with divine energy. The calm sea roars as Shadow's new base fully materializes. Standing amidst the glowing water, Shadow looks ahead with a calm expression and declares it's time to retrieve the divine tome. Meanwhile, inside a grand hall, one of Shadow's allies rushes in, reporting that someone has accused Shadow of killing players indiscriminately. He quickly clarifies that Shadow wasn't even online, prompting further investigation. The scene flashes to the culprit's two players who had been spreading lies. Their bodies disintegrate into golden particles, silenced by the true force that hunts from the shadows. From behind the rubble, a group of players watches in fear as bright golden lights flash in the distance. One of them mutters in disbelief, realizing that even his level 3 anti-invisibility skill can't detect the mysterious boss. Another player, frustrated and prideful, insists that if he could see the boss, he'd take it down himself. He recalls the time the Iron Saintess was humiliated by a shadow and swears this won't happen again. His green-haired teammate quickly warns him to lower his voice, worried the unseen enemy might notice them. Deciding to gain an advantage, the group moves toward higher ground for a clearer view, unaware that the shadow they seek might already be watching them. As the group rushes forward, chaos erupts. A banana peel suddenly appears on the ground, sending one of them slipping right into the path of a deadly pink energy slash. The green-haired player calls out in panic as his teammate is instantly struck down, his body dissolving into golden light. The last man standing clenches his fist, swearing in frustration as a strange figure steps out from the shadows, a humanoid creature with lifeless eyes and sharp limbs. Fueled by pride and anger, he charges forward, shouting that he's not afraid, unaware that he's about to face an enemy far beyond his reach. The battle intensifies as the Stitch doll-like creature launches a vicious kick, sending the warrior flying backward with a burst of pink energy. Struggling to recover, he quickly rolls to avoid another strike, but realizes he moved too early, leaving himself wide open. The creature doesn't hesitate, it flips gracefully in midair, slamming down another attack with terrifying precision. Gritting his teeth, the warrior glares up from the ground, furious that his blows still haven't landed, determined not to fall without a fight. The fight continues as the strange doll relentlessly attacks, her movements so fast that the warrior can barely react. He tumbles across the ground, struggling to keep his balance. Dizzy and exhausted, he mutters that he's rolled to his absolute limit, his strength nearly gone. When he looks up, the creature suddenly vanishes into thin air, leaving him stunned and scanning the battlefield in confusion. His vision begins to blur as something ominous looms above. The last thing he sees is a dark shadow descending, signaling his inevitable defeat. The Stitch doll leaps high into the air, her body glowing with pink energy before slamming down a devastating blow, a deadly skill called Stealth Strike. The impact shatters the ground beneath her opponent. The warrior collapses instantly, his life force fading away as the doll turns, unfazed by the destruction around her. From the shadows above, a dark aura flickers, an ominous presence quietly observing her actions, letting out a cold, dismissive hum. Suddenly, a powerful figure appears behind her, striking with incredible speed. His blade glows as he delivers a counterattack, true stealth breaker, Fierce Strike, ending the clash in one decisive move. After the intense battle, silence falls over the ruined city. A figure cloaked in black steps forward, his silver hair glinting under the fading light.